the rumba and the free program, it's something that we call Fallen Angel because we thought it was a good representation of my career up to this point. And don't laugh at me yet. I'm just getting started. So basically the summer is what the summer is for. Work, losing the weight, getting prepared, and just making sure you're happy and every kink is worked out before the first event, mine of which is the Cup of Russia in Moscow in October. So summer has been business as usual.
Hey, Evan.
Well, my summer's been really busy, and it started the day after the World Championships, and is just now starting to slow down. I've been on tour with several shows throughout the world, which has been really fun. Working with some great companies, doing some commercial work. To take advantage of every opportunity that's come my way since winning the world title. At the same time, keeping my training up, and I've had to just be a little bit of a different athlete, and I was so used to my controlled training environment always, especially in the summertime, having the consistency of daily training, hours and hours and hours, and since I've been on the road, I've had to learn to adapt and train wherever I am, whenever I have ice time, and it's actually helped me a lot because I guess that was a challenge of mine, was dealing with circumstances that were not within my daily training habitat. So I have a new free skate that I went to Toronto and worked with Weir on, and I'm really excited about it. It's definitely a stretch for me, and the idea came from Frank Carroll, from my coach. I'm getting my short program next week, so I'm really looking forward to getting home and getting to work on that. But my condition right now is great. I'm definitely already much better and stronger than I think I was last season. So I just want to sort of continue this same momentum that's been going since the Worlds and since I kind of fell in love with skating again and rejuvenated that joy for the sport.
Okay, we can go ahead now and open the floor to questions. Again, if you could raise your hand so the mic runners can find you so I can see you. And if you can, please state your name and media outlet so we can get that as well. Can you bring it up here to Phil in the front, please? Phil.
Hi, Philip Hirsch, Chicago Tribune. Johnny, don't take this as in any way except as a real question. The Russian men are hurting. Because you're such a fan of Russia, has there ever been any talk with anybody there that you could join their program if you wanted to?
Just as jokes with different people in the Russian Federation and between them and my coach. But of course I'm American. My allegiance lies with America. And I have always thought that being a good American is appreciating the world, not just your own country. So of course it's well documented that I love Russia and I love visiting and training there and working with Russian choreographers and coaches. But I would never change my country at this juncture.
How you're getting ready for the fall season. If we can interrupt for just a second, we've got Brandon Mroz joining us. Brandon, why don't you go ahead and come up? Brandon's going to do our introductory question real quick. He's just going to talk briefly about what he's been doing this summer and how he's been preparing for this season. Then we'll open the floor back up to questions. As soon as he's mic'd. We can go ahead and take a question, actually, while they do this, if you guys want. Is there somebody close? Go ahead.
Mark Starr. Two questions. First of all, did you ever consider not taking advantage of all those opportunities because perhaps they would counter your chance to win the next medal, which will give you more opportunities than you ever dreamed of? And the second part is, could you talk about the free program? What about it stretches you like you've never been stretched, or however you phrased it?
I think for me, I've always known the amount of time that I need to prepare for a competition, and
one thing that I'm very aware of is whether or not I'm trained and ready to compete. And I would never show up for a competition not 100% trained, prepared, and ready. And like I said, my condition right now is great. It's just been a different type of training throughout the summer. But to me, it was important and exciting that especially here in the U.S., people were looking to men's skating, and they were eager to talk about it. They were excited about what was going on, about possibly changes that were being made technically, and rivalries that maybe, in existence, or whatever it was. The cameras kind of turned from the ladies to the men, and we're excited about that shift because we all work very hard and we like that recognition. And for me, I think it was important not to win the world championship and then go into hiding and go in, training. I wanted to promote men's skating in the United States and kind of capitalize on that excitement. And I wasn't just promoting myself, I was promoting our entire men's team and U.S. figure skating in doing so. So everything that I've done has been very, very exciting, and it still feels surreal to me. I think the last season and the last year of my life is still sinking in. I'm having to pinch myself in a variety of situations that I would never have thought I would be in. So I feel very blessed and, like I said, excited and ready for this season. And then my free skate is to the Kirov Ballet Golden Slave, and it's sort of the classic story of Scheherazade by Rimsky-Korsakov, except that in this interpretation, the two male characters, the king and this golden slave, are the predominant characters, and so that's why we chose to use that version, which has never really been used in skating before. It's really full and really big and actually sounds very masculine. So to me it was attractive right off the bat because I like a strong ending, and a lot of times we'll find the end of the music first for that, really strong step sequence and exciting ending, and then work backward from there. But it was music that Frank had found back in December, then played again in January and in February again for me, and said, I really want you to skate to this. So it worked out really well. It's not music that I felt particularly comfortable with right off the bat. It's more emotional and a little more romantic than anything that I've really done in the past. So to me, it's been sort of exciting, but this is the first time that I honestly can say I'm excited to skate that program, 7-8 times a day. It doesn't get stale even after the repetition that goes into our training.
Thanks, Evan. Okay, Brandon, if you want to go ahead and talk about just what you spent your summer doing, how you're training for the upcoming season.
All right. First off, I'd like to apologize for showing up late. I've had a crazy flight schedule, so my bad. But really, for me, I've been just training hard, pushing the jumps, pushing my reps, trying to work on every little thing. We wanted to get great programs again this year, which is a key ingredient, especially leading up to this year with all the great guys we have in the States, and not to mention and all the other countries that we're going to be competing against. So I went to Lori Nickel and got along, and she did great. I'm skating to the 5th of Beethoven, and it's a phenomenal program, and it's tricky, but it's definitely worth the risk, and if I pull it together, it'll be phenomenal. And I worked with Kat, and she did my short, and it's kind of to a jazzy Latin piece, so I'm really pushing the programs this year. Trying to get more artistic, and which is great, and that's a big step for me. So definitely going in a different direction this year. And with the two programs, it's completely different sides. It's like night and day. So I've just been pushing everything, trying to focus on every little thing, and just trying to become a better me. So looking forward to the season.
Thanks. Okay, we'll go back to the floor for questions. We'll go over here to Jerry, please. Black sweater. Thank you.
Hi, Jerry Walber with Blades and Ice magazine. This is a question for all four of you. The quad hasn't been talked about that much in recent years since the new judging system. Can each of you address, do you think you're going to need it for the Olympic Games, or what are you working on it at the same time? Thank you.
I'll start.
Well, the quad for me has always been just personally about the risk versus reward, not in point value, but just in my own training percentage-wise. So if I am hitting 50% in practice, I'm not going to try it in the competition. It's not worth a 50-50 risk for me, whatever the value. If I'm hitting 90%, I will try it. That is worth the risk. So that's kind of where my rationale is as far as putting it into the program. I think at the Olympic Games, someone will skate clean with a quad in their program. I want it to be me. I would love if it was me. I'm training as hard as I possibly can and obviously trying to stay healthy and strong to make that a reality, but I don't think it's necessarily reflective of how strong a skater you are if you can do a quad, but my mentality is like what I just said. Someone will do it.
Thanks. Johnny, go ahead.
We've seen the last 2 seasons now that the world champion was the best skater, not the best quad jump person. So for me, the quad, it's beautiful. It's such a difficult thing to do. It's the progression of our sport, blah, blah, blah. But to be a champion, you have to have the whole package. If you can do a quad toe or a quad sal, great, good for you. But why can't you spin? Why can't you do clean edges in your footwork? All of these things come into making the top figure skater, make the champion. Like Evan said, of course, I would like to be the one that skates that clean performance with a quad, no question, that I'll be on the podium. But as far as the importance of the quad, this new judging system, it's not the same as it used to be. You don't have to out-quad somebody. You have to out-skate somebody. You have to outperform somebody. You have to be better at the other person in every aspect of the sport, not just being able to do a very demanding jump. It's very give and take. You can try it and fall. You can try it and land it clean, and they can still downgrade it. It depends on who's sitting up there that day. So, I mean, it's up to the athlete on that day if you want to take the risk or not.
Thanks, Johnny. Jeremy, do you want to go ahead?
I agree with what both of them just said. It's a very risky element, and sometimes it's not worth the reward. But if you are the skater that can have the complete package and perform a quad and do it